you so much for purchasing our awesome pickup truck Thanksgiving art kit. I'm super excited to be spending the holiday with you. So gather up your loved ones, get everything that was included in your art kit, put on some comfy clothes and turn on some jams, right? Get comfortable. Definitely don't put on any favorite clothes because if you get paint on it, it'll be in there forever. I've also got a water cup filled with clean fresh water, my napkins, brushes, paints, and my canvas. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start out with my biggest brush. It's my big flat brush, just like this, and I'm going to work on my background first. Now, realistically, you could do whatever kind of background you want. You can keep it real simple if you want to. You could do nighttime, you could do daytime. I think I'm going to do fall leaves, so I'll probably do a very soft daytime background, okay? That way my fall leaves will really stand out. Now, yes, my paint plate is covered in colors, but that's okay. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue and mix that in with my white. And we never want too much on our brush, so I tried to wipe most of the extra off. Now, I am not going to stress about getting sky onto my tree because I can just paint over that with my brown tree color, right? So we'll get all this filled in just like that. And I'm not all about nice and perfect. I kind of actually like to just have a fun, flowy background. Nothing perfect, nothing exact. So we'll start getting this all filled in. There we go. And if you're seeing any little bitty white polka dotty spots, that's just telling you you don't have enough paint on your brush and the canvas is showing through. So make sure you have plenty of paint on your brush. There we go. Now before I get too low, I am going to grab some white and throw that on my brush. And pop that in there. Now remember, if I'm going too fast for you, you can always go back and stop me, pause me, rewind me. If you miss something, okay, you can go back and catch it again. That's the awesome thing about doing these videos and getting to work at your own pace versus doing a live class. You can't rewind me in person, right? I'm sure my students wish that they could pause me sometimes. Miss Scott. Wait, I hear that sometimes. Not very much. I try to really go slow when I'm teaching the kids, but I know on this video you guys can just totally pause me. Now I'm bringing this color all the way down to my ground line. There we go. Little bit right there in the back. Okay. Then I'm going to bring a little bit of this lighter up and a little bit of the darker down so that it has a nice blend down just like that. And if you want it even more wispy clouds, then you grab even more white and just flick that brush. When I'm flicking, I hold my brush further back, okay? So I can flick, 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 flick and get that done. Now I do like to do the very top edges, and I like to do kind of go down my sides. So I'll stop where the ground line is and do these side edges just like that. Okay, there. Now, the awesome thing about art is my way is not necessarily your way, and you can totally do this painting how you want to. Now, the nice thing about acrylics is they do dry really quick, so we'll be able to do the leaves on our tree before long because our sky will be dry. So I was thinking the next step should probably be to paint our tree so that way the tree branches have a little bit of time to dry too before we start working on those leaves. So I'm going to put this brush in the water. I'm going to grab my biggest rounded brush right here, and I'm going to start with just the basic brown that comes in the painting art kit And I'm going to put that one on first. Now, it's a little see-through and it's a little boring. That's okay. We're just putting that base color on. And again, I'm not trying to go for smooth because it's the texture of a tree, right? So we're not trying to go for smooth. There we go. And don't worry about making your branches perfect either, because I am pretty positive there's no perfect branches out there. If you get a little out of the line, nobody's going to know unless you tell them. Now, if you want to completely hide those Sharpie lines, every chance you get, you want to put another layer of paint on top of them. I am going to go ahead and bring this brown down this edge because most of it is tree. There we go. And what if we went for kind of a dirt ground as well? So I'm going to work on getting some brown on the ground. Brown on the ground. Just like that. And I know it blends into my tree, but I'm going to add darker textures into my tree, and I am going to add some lighter color down here and darker into my dirt here in just a minute. Again, you guys have to trust my process. I'm just putting a base color on first, and then there'll be lots more layers on next. If you guys have been painting with me for a while, you know, and if you haven't, you'll kind of get used to my style. Now, my style may not be for you. You may have a different way of doing things. And there is nothing wrong with that. You can branch out and do your own thing at any time. So there's a base of brown on here. Now, I am going to add some white to my brown. Let me show ya. A little white in here to my brown. And give me a lighter brown to kind of sweep in. Might need to put it on a little bit thicker. Down here, where it would not be in the shadow of the truck. Okay. Then I can grab, and actually while this is in my brush, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use a little bit of this, and I'm going to put it on the tops. Not that it's even that noticeable, but the tops of the branches, just to give them a bit of a highlight. Okay? Now, scrape all of this out of my brush, and I'm actually going to grab just a little bit of black, and I'm going to mix that in with my brown and make me a darker brown. Now, yes, I have lots of colors on my plate. That's because I've been painting all evening, and so this way I just keep reusing my paint and I don't waste. So now I'm putting this darker brown up here underneath the truck and underneath the tires to create some shadow. Okay, just like that. Now I can use this darker brown in my tree as well. See how we just work that in there? So now just dab, dab, dab it, dab, 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 just in spots here and there. Now I love trees. I have loved trees for a very long time. I really love birch trees. I think they're fabulous and just so pretty. So I'm just working a little bit of this dark brown on up into my tree. So it creates this great texture. I suppose I should show you up close the texture. You can see with the different angles of the light and the shadows that are up underneath the pickup truck. Okay? So, there we go. I could even grab just a little bit of straight black if you're brave. Just kind of work that straight black in there just a little bit. And all I'm doing is just doing little dabs. Dab, 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 dab. Just little dab and pull, dab and pull, dab and pull, dab and pull. Underside of the branches, not the tops. Just the undersides. Just the undersides. There we go. Oh my goodness. So fabulous. There we go. Okay. Awesome. So I'm cleaning that brush really, really good. Remember, every time you clean your brush, you really want to smush, smush, smush that brush in the bottom of your cup. Rub it really good. This did not get everything out, so I'm going to rub it again. I love that you have purchased an art kit for me. We will have Christmas art kits as well. And we've put a special twist on our art kits. They are coming in a box now, all gift wrapped inside and ready to go. So you can give this Thanksgiving kit to special somebody. Okay, or maybe you are that special somebody that got the art kit. Now, I feel like next, because we have the tree done, it needs to dry. We've got a lot of layers on our tree and we really need to dry it, okay? So I feel like next we should definitely work on getting maybe our tree done, right? Why not, okay? So I'm gonna work on getting my tree done. There, that's a little better. Okay. Work on getting my tree, or excuse me, my tree is done. So I'm going to work on getting my pickup truck done. So I was thinking of going turquoise, but the background is blue. So what if we mixed some green into our turquoise? So we make a deeper turquoise, okay, more greens, and we add I'm running out of brown, aren't I? Add a pop of brown in there just to kind of rustic it up a little, right? Old pickup truck. Okay, so I'm going to start. Let's see what this looks like. I still have that kind of bigger, rounded, curved brush, but if you feel better about using a smaller brush, you need to use what you feel better with, okay? There we go. Get that all filled in. Awesome. Curve it around. This is a curved line, so I make a curved brush stroke. Okay, now this first layer is pretty see-through, but I'm going to add highlights. I'm going to add shadows on my truck. So that second layer that we pop on there will be much less see-through. And it'll just be great. You know what? How fun would it have been to do like a pink truck? Yeah. Or a royal blue or a red truck. I just tried to stay away from red though because I do red on my Christmas truck that's very similar to this. But up to you. It could be fun. You could make this a sign that has like your name on it. That could be really fun. All right. Now again, smaller areas, it might be wise to use a smaller brush, or you could turn your brush sideways. There we go. Getting that all filled in, just like that. Woo! Okay, there's layer one. Awesome. Layer one. Now there are other Thanksgiving art kits that you can purchase. We do have the turkey, the fabulous turkey. I love it. We have the thankful, yes, beautiful. And we have the fall bouquet. Oh yes, and there's also a floral pumpkin. Okay, so we got base turquoisey green on the truck, right? So now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to put this bigger guy in the water cup and I'm going to get this smaller flat one out. I am going to add a little bit of this light turquoise that I made earlier on half of that truck color that I just made. Might be too light. Let's see. And I'm going to add some pops of this lighter in there. So just kind of lay that right on top. Now, the nice thing about what you'll be able to do at the end is if you decide to, you'll have two choices. At the end, you can totally paint your outlines, all these Sharpie lines. We could totally paint those with a dark color at the end in a baby brush, right? Or you might decide at the end that you'd rather blow dry and use your permanent marker that you get in your kit to, oh, a little on the tree, to do your black lines. So maybe you want to just re-Sharpie the lines, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, there's my little bit of highlight. So now I'm going to scrape all of this out of my brush, scrape it out, scrape it out. Now I'm going to grab me a little bit of brown, a little bit more brown, and kind of mix that into that darker turquoise that I still had left. So it's a little darker, maybe, than my original truck color, okay? You guys could always grab your second paint plate that came in your kit and do all your mixing on that. And then we'll use this to put, it's not much darker, is it, guys? I'm going to try to make a little darker version in here too. And I think it looks good if it's not all perfect. If it looks kind of rustic, because it is an old truck, right? Why not? Okay. There, we can kind of go for that rustic look. Whoop, boop, boop. Okay. So now we got that done. We got our shadows, we got our highlights. So we can let this base layer on our truck dry. And why not start a little bit on our pumpkin? So notice I'm kind of bouncing from here to there to here to there. That's okay. So I'm going to use this medium rounded brush, okay? So the last one I used was medium flat. This is medium rounded. And I'm going to use orange. Remember, you can make orange by mixing together yellow and red to make your own orange, okay? I'm going to start with this lighter orange, and I'm going to do pops of light orange right here at the top of each pumpkin, because that's where the light would be shining down. So the tops of the pumpkins would be lighter, right? Okay. So we'll put that in there. Boop, 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 boop. And we got these guys down here too, don't we? Okay. So we'll just put our little pops of lighter orange in there. Remember, take some deep breaths every now and then. And also remember, you will never be this close to your painting again, okay? Ever, 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 ever. So don't stress about what you see super up close, because you won't see it. Again, once you hang it up on the wall to enjoy, it'll be exactly how it was meant to be viewed from a distance. So I'm putting in a little pop of yellow in there on top as well, okay? So now I can scrape that extra out. If you haven't noticed, I don't love to clean my brush a lot, so I'm going for regular orange now. This is just the base orange. Make sure you follow the curves of the pumpkins. The middles of the pumpkins are kind of straight, but the edges of the pumpkins are where the curves are. Curve, straight, straight. Kind of straight, 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 up, straight. And I'm just doing a little choop, choop. It'll flick, flick, flick. Okay? It'll flick, flick, just like that. Oh yeah, baby. Oh yeah. So, there we go. Same thing down here. Follow the curve, straight in the middle, follow the curve. There we go. And then I made this darker orange by taking orange and red and brown. And that is how I got that darker orange. Isn't that awesome? Great burnt orange. And this can go at the very bottom of the pumpkins, just like that. And then I will show you guys this up close in just a second. And after you get that little flick in there at the bottom, what we'll do is we'll go back here in a minute with a smaller brush and bring that flick up higher to where those Sharpie lines are. Okay? So, here are the pumpkins so far, just like that. Okay? Just like that. Awesome. So now we'll let this hang out in the water cup. So we have base on the tree, base on the truck, base on the pumpkins. Why don't we make a gray? Gray. So you guys know white and black mixed together is gonna, oh, that's a lot of black. Didn't mean to grab that much. We want just a little bit of black. So we make a light gray because I'm trying to go for metal gray. So then we outline and fill in. And if you would rather use a smaller brush, please use what you're comfortable using. This might be a little big for what I'm doing. We'll go ahead and fill in the rims. Sorry dudes, these aren't cool rims. Okay. But you can make them cool rims because this is your painting. It can be whatever you want it to be. Now, I've been told when I've done the red pickup truck class that there are white tire. Well, they're not, I guess the whole tire is not white, just the front of the tire is white. Or the side, I mean, of the tire is white. I don't know. Anyway, up to you. Okay. Oh, and the handle, I guess, would be gray too, because that would be metal. Got to be careful because my truck is still wet, right? Okay, so we got bumper, we got rims. There we go, just putting a little bit more color on there. Okay, then, what about dark green stem? So to get this green, all I did was I took some red and I mixed it in with my green. And it's kind of a fine line of red and green mixed together. You just do a little bit of red at a time, but they are complementary colors. And so that is how you can darken up green, as you use its complement, which is red. And you can darken up your red vice versa by using green. There we go. There we go. Little stem action down there. And I am using a much smaller pointy brush to do this. Might even kind of, whoop, got out of the lines, didn't I, guys? Got a little carried away. Just trying to add just a little pop of this darker in there. Maybe a little sweep down here at the bottom. A little bit right there where I had a Sharpie line. Sharpie line there, kind of rustic it out. Sharpie line here. There. And maybe we'll bring a little bit up there, like that. Okay. So I just took that dark green I used for my stem and kind of stuck it in different places on my pickup truck, and since the truck is still wet, it sort of blends a little but not completely, which is nice. Okay, there we go, just like that. Okay, now while the stems are still wet, uh-oh, I had yellow on my finger. Okay, I am gonna add just a little bit of white to that, just a little bit, so I can do a little pop, 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 pop of whitish, well, lighter green right there on the tops of the stems, so they have a little highlight on them, right? Okay, now I can get into my black. I'm using a very baby brush, and I am going to paint the interior of my pickup truck. My seats are going to be black leather seats, although they could be whatever color you want. Black steering wheel, black dash, just like that. And then I could use a little bit bigger brush and paint my tires in. Otherwise, it might take a while. You guys got to think, what are you going to put on that sign on your truck? What could you put? You could put a pumpkin on it. You could put like your last name and then the word farms. So like mine would be Scott Farms. There we go. Okay. There we go. There's that. And then very carefully outline. I am using that kind of medium-ish flat brush, but if you don't feel comfortable using that, use a smaller one so that way you are comfortable. There we go. Whew, come on. Man, it's so hard to make circles round when you're painting. I don't know why. Okay, now I've made that rim smaller. I'll have to go back and make it bigger. That's okay though, it's all good. It is all good, right? Okay, I think while I have the black on my brush, I'll go ahead and sort of sloppy outline that. I like that, sloppy outline. Do a little sloppy. Ooh, I like this flat brush. It makes a very thin outline. It's just kind of maneuvering it if you're doing curves, kind of twisting it in your hand. Boop, boop. Now again, you could always wait and do this with your Sharpie, your permanent marker after the paint dries. Sometimes it helps to hold your breath too when you're doing details. Just remember to breathe. I used to get real winded when I was painting, and I never really knew why until I was painting with a muralist, and he told me I held my breath while I was painting, and so he started telling me to breathe. Okay, stick that in the water. Get a pointy guy out. Okay. We're going to use some more red, some more brown, mixed into that dark orange I made earlier. And we're going to do pop, pop, pop of these in our pumpkins. Okay, this brush is not very pointy or small, so I'm going to grab a smaller, pointier one. There we go. And you don't want too much paint in your brush because that will really affect how thick your brush stroke is as well if you have too much paint in your brush. Now my pumpkins may still be a little wet, and that might be why I can't get that color to lay on there exactly how I want it to. But you know what? Paintings don't need to be perfect. It's more about the process and having fun and creating a memory and creating something that you're proud of course. But I think by the time you guys are done, you're going to be very proud of these. So I'm doing the dark reddish orangish and going where those Sharpie lines are, or you could choose to just wait till it dries and actually use the Sharpie. But this creates one more layer of depth by putting this little bit of darker reddish orange in there, which I like. I'm holding it a little further back so I can kind of flick my brush as I'm painting. Okay, all right. So now we're almost to the fun part. Man, got some brown on there somehow. Okay, where is my big guy? There it is. Let's clean that out. Let me see if I can kind of wash that off a little. I don't know what that is. I think it was a paint drip. There we go. There, like it never happened. Okay. While I have the big guy, I am going to grab just the teeniest bit of brown and I'm just going to sweep it on my sign. Just dirty up my sign a little bit. Okay, I don't want it perfect. Trying to think what would be my best brush for the leaves. Maybe that rounded, kind of flat rounded, medium-ish brush. That one might be good. And I'm going to start with my lightest colors first. So I'm going to do a mustardy yellow. And I'm just going to sort of dab these leaves on. So to make mustard yellow, you actually take a teeny bit of purple and you mix it into your yellow. And then you can put just a dab of white on there too, if you want to. And it creates this amazing yellow color that I've been trying to find the most perfect sweater in, and I just don't have very good luck. We could even put a few down on the ground like they fell. Right? If you love this color, you could even add just a pop of it back in your pumpkins if you wanted to. Okay, now I'm going to get into that lighter orange. Just do some dabs of that. This is just straight down, straight up, very gentle. Kind of turn your brush different directions. So I'm just going like this in my fingers so it turns as I fill it in. Maybe a couple boop, boop, boop down here. Now I'll go into that burnt orange that I made. Meanwhile, I still haven't cleaned my brush. There we go. You could even use like the sides, so you could like hold your brush sideways. Get that on there. Maybe just a smidge down here. This one's not as noticeable on the brown, is it? Okay, now we have that burnt orange and red mixture, that dark color we did on the pumpkins. Definitely need to pull that in because it is on the pumpkins. Here we go. Dab, 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 dab. Oh my gosh. In love. I really love fall though, guys, just because the trees are so pretty in the fall. Okay, now while I have all this business in my brush, I am going to grab just a little bit of white, just do a couple pops of white, just like where the light might be hitting. So just kind of the tops, just like that. Okay, just a couple little pops of white. So it almost looks like the light sort of shining through in a few spots, okay? Just like that. So fun. Okay. Now, oh my gosh. Okay, we're so close. Okay, so now I am gonna grab just a little brush, just a little one, and some white paint, and I'm gonna do just little pops of white on our pumpkins. So it's like we've got a little light shining down, little pop of white. Oh, that had orange in it, didn't it? Wipe my brush, do a little pop of white on the top of the truck, a little bit on the top of the wheel well, a little bit on the hood, a little bit across the bed. We definitely, oh, I never fixed this rim, did I, guys? You gotta tell me these things. Clean that brush, dry it. You have to dry it every time. Okay, grab a little bit of gray and let's fix this rim. It got much smaller than the other one. Okay, that might just have to do. There we go. Okay, now we can do a little pop of white little pop of white, little pop of white, little pop of white. On top of these pumpkins, just a little bit. Oh my gosh, okay. Now I do see a little spot that I need to put a little bit of black there. Okay, clean that up right there. I feel like I need to put just a little bit of black under the tire, so I'm just sweeping my brush. Sweep, 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 sweep. A little bit under this one. Sweep, 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 sweep. So that kind of grounds our tires a little bit, right? Put right there at the horizon line. Just a little bit right here on the edge of the tree. I'm trying to do it a very broken line right there on that tree. Okay. Oh, I see one more spot I need some black. Just right in here. And remember, guys, you can totally... we didn't do our headlight. You can totally Sharpie. You do not have to do black paint like what I just did. But if you do, use your baby brush. Okay. Paint our headlight yellow. There. Maybe we need to put a little pop of white on that. Boop. All right. Oh my goodness. Oh, how cute is this, guys? So very cute. Don't forget to paint the bottom. I would just do it brown if I were you. I do see one more thing I need to do. Since we did a little pop of black everywhere else, if it'll let me, that yellow's wet, it may not let me. There, little pop of black around our headlight. So amazing. I love this, guys. I love this so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing to spend some of your Thanksgiving with me. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed being in your home with you and your family. Don't forget, we will have Christmas holiday art kits as well. So we would love for you to purchase another one. All right, guys, have a very happy Thanksgiving, and I cannot wait to do some more art with you.